Hey, y'all. I'm Mr. Hanson. I'm the engineering and technology instructor here at Rome High School, here with an update for our first 9 weeks of this rather chaotic school year. Um, I'm here because I love engineering. You can always email me if you need to get a hold of me if you want to talk about student work and stuff. I'm working on putting together a website that's going to host a lot of resources for the engineering and technology pathway, and I'm on Twitter as well. My background is actually in electrical engineering. I went to University of Tennessee and Georgia Tech, where I did a lot of software development, worked in um, uh, rapid prototyping, and I also worked as a research assistant. Um, then I got involved in teaching, ended up teaching some math before getting roped into hosting the engineering and technology program here. We got two purposes. First and foremost, engineering and technology at Rome High School is here to expose students to as many different tools and technology as possible. And this is all intended to give students a competitive advantage when trying to get into post-secondary engineering programs. So they go to college, whether that's a 2 year or 4 year program, whether that's Georgia Northwestern or that's Georgia Tech. Those can be pretty competitive programs and pretty challenging. And so, experience here in this engineering and technology program is designed to help students once they get to the college level in engineering. So, we got 3 years. Foundations of Engineering is the first year. This year, we've got started with actually an introduction to computer aided design using Onshape. Students have worked on a couple design projects that are involved, using Onshape to design uh, we looked at crane designs. So that was our introduction to the engineering design process. Students made blueprints and created designs that they could actually test using some simulation software. Most recently, we just did a project with carving pumpkins using uh, CAD tools, which has been pretty entertaining. And we also have been focusing a lot on portfolio development. So again, part of what I'm trying to do here is get students a good foothold in the professional world of engineering. One thing we do is develop portfolios. And so, if you don't know what a portfolio is, it's a professional showcase of your work. Here's one of my fantastic favorite freshman portfolios. Can be pretty simple. There's not a lot here yet because we're just getting started with the first year students, but it showcases how a project can be designed from start to finish, looking at research, working on rough sketching, annotated sketching, blueprints, CAD models, and then you know creating and testing our prototypes. Here's a portfolio from one of my third year students, and as your student finishes the pathway, what they should end up with is a pretty substantial collection of work, tools, and technology that they've have some degree of expertise in, all kinds of things that engineering programs after high school look at. So this is a third year portfolio that showcases a lot of projects, tech fair projects, competitions that this student has worked on, looking at CAD designs, simulation software, lots of opportunities for students to demonstrate uh, their expertise. And so, first year students got a start in developing their portfolio this last week, actually. Um, we will be digging into what's called the design world modules, looking at additive manufacturing, CNC. We look at energy and power generation, microelectronics with Arduino, which is an open source microcontroller. We'll do some architectural modeling with SketchUp. We study agricultural and transportation technologies and looking at structural design. Um, Now, with COVID, this is probably going to be a lot of digital work with Onshape and computer aided design. So, that's kind of what that is. Year two is engineering concepts. And here we took a deep dive into robotics. Students did complete another Onshape CAD certification. Uh, we're working on FTC project for this year's first technology competition. The students so far have done CAD models and created blueprints for their own custom designed chassis. And we worked on developing robotic end effectors and manipulators. So things we're going to look at are, mobility and degrees of freedom for manipulator design. We'll do some static and dynamic stress analysis. We'll dig into coding for robots. We'll look at sensor feedback control to make our robots more intelligent. And this is all geared towards the FTC robotics competition this year. Year three is my engineering applications class. They are actually taking a deep dive into automotive engineering. They completed their Onshape document management certification. We got into aerodynamic design, and they've been using Onshape to design uh, aerodynamic CO2 dragsters. We used some simulation software, some computational fluid dynamic simulation software to simulate airflow and get a drag coefficients. And so they've been playing with some a little more advanced tools. Um, we'll dig into engine design, looking at compressed air pistons. They'll make some shiftable gearboxes that we'll probably 3D print prototypes for. We'll do heat transfer analysis and design brakes. Hopefully by the end of the year we'll get a chance to host the next second annual Rome High Derby Day, perhaps work on electric vehicle projects. So lots of cool things happening in engineering applications. This year, we really got fantastic opportunity with the new work-based learning coordinator who's been helping us set up internship opportunities for students. Currently, we got students who are at OTR Wheel Engineering. We've done stuff with Berry College and Hackberry Labs. I've got students that are working um, on a photolithography project at one of the labs on Berry. We also got a student at Southern Engineering, and this is all again geared towards giving students some real professional experience in engineering. Um, so, if you want to help your student be successful, please check out these different resources. I just kind of want to show you what's available if you haven't had a chance to look at this. We have a Pathway Google Classroom. Always has announcements. This is something all four of my different classes can access. If you check out classwork, there's tons of resources, guidelines for running a virtual class. There is a form that students can fill out if they would like to schedule a one-on-one help session if they get stuck with something. There's notes for what we're doing in class. And there is a pretty comprehensive collection of class recordings. So pretty much everything I do in class, I record. So students, for some reason, because of quarantine or COVID or because they're absent, they aren't in class. They can always check out the recorded class section and see what we did. And there'll be like live demos and tutorials and all kinds of stuff for students to work on. We do use a website called Canvas to host the classwork. So each individual class has its own Canvas classroom. So this is the Canvas classroom for foundations of engineering. And it's pretty nice. It organizes things in modules, which go step by step from top to bottom, going through a project. For example, our engineering design project, which we did our crane strain for the foundations class. It's pretty much in order and step by step. Students have access to all these assignments. And my policy is, students can always turn in assignments that are past due for at least partial credit. Students can even resubmit assignments that they didn't get a good grade on for, more points. My whole point behind engineering is that we're problem solvers and we are improvement minded folks. We think about how to make things better. So if students can show me that they're making things better, that's something I will definitely award with points. We do a lot of CAD design. It's our digital design tool. Onshape's actually a pretty comprehensive learning library where there's step-by-step videos and tutorials for how to use this computer-aided design tool. And I've actually led my students through some of these certification programs. So, for example, Foundations did this CAD Basics, which is a step-by-step introduction to different parts of computer-aided design. And so that was one of the first things we started with this year, but you can access all those videos there as well as other learning resources. I also keep a relatively comprehensive library of tutorials that I've developed. We use a lot of different tools and technology in this class. And so every time I post assignments on Canvas, I typically record some live demos, directions, and post those in the assignments, showing how students how to get started with the tools and technology that they need for their assignments and projects. And so that's also something students have access to. And these are always linked. The relevant videos are linked in the assignments. So if your students having trouble with some of the assignments, check and see if there's a tutorial video there. It's typically a good place to start if you're struggling with those assignments. We also have a new College and Career Academy Engineering Lab coming, which is going to be super exciting. That new building they're building, we got a brand new space and tons of tools and equipment that are going to be there for students to learn how to design solutions to real world problems. So that's to send this out today because we're going to have Parent Conference Day next Monday, November 2nd. There are time slots available throughout the day from 10 to 6. And you can feel free to shoot me an email at shanson@rcs.rome.ga.us, or you can always call the school guidance department to set up appointment. So we're doing phone and video conferences, and so I'd love to talk to y'all. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys on Monday.